Hello, my name is Tom Stiles, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show number 123. Yep, 123. Today, or tonight, I'm going to give you a look at the Grundig S450DLX. Now, this is what I consider, just to give it a name, the big brother of the 350, which I just did a review of. And this is an all analog tuner with a digital display, where this one is a digital tuner and a digital display. They're very much alike. The 450 is, as you can just notice, is a little larger than the 350, and it's a newer design. It's about 12 inches wide by 7.5 inches high by 4 inches deep, pretty deep. And it weighs about 4 pounds is what the documentation says, and they never indicate whether that's with or without batteries. I think from the feel of it, that's probably with batteries. This requires 4 D-cell batteries, so that makes it quite heavy. And as you can see, it is pretty large. It has a big speaker here. So today we're going to do something a little different than we've been doing the last couple of radios. Is we're going to do part 1 and part 2 in the same video, because the features of this radio are much like the 350, which is what I just did. Okay, let's talk about the features. Bands, it's got an AM band, your normal 520 to 1700 kilohertz. FM band from the normal FM band, 88 to 108 megahertz. And shortwave, 1.7 megahertz to 30 megahertz. So it's a full shortwave band, no gaps. It's everything. Unlike the 350, which started at I think about 3 megahertz. Again, the band switching is done with this switch here. It's either this switch either puts it in the regular AM band or one of the 3 shortwave bands. This one up here, the switch up here, controls whether it's in FM mono or stereo, or it controls when it's in this mode these modes down here. It controls the narrow and wide band filter. Straightforward there. The configuration of the adjustment, I'll call it, knobs are a little different than the 350 in that all 4 of them are in a cluster here. Volume, gain control, bass, and treble. Again, my preference would be to have the volume over here because I do a lot of jumping between tuning and the volume depending on the station itself. Of course, you can do something similar to that by using the RF gain to turn the volume down by turning the RF gain down. Okay, the other thing is that this radio has some digital features. It does not have a keypad so that you can direct dial, shall I call it? Direct dial a frequency. So you still have to turn a frequency. It does have one button here called Quick Tune, which will quickly jump from frequency to frequency. Now, I wrote down when you're on SW1 the frequencies that Quick Tune gives you. I got them here, and I'm not sure what they are because the first one is 2.25 megahertz, and then it jumps to 3.15, and then it jumps to 3.850, and so on, which is not really the international broadcast meter bands, like 90 meters, 80 meters, 70 meters, 75 meters. So I'm not sure what those preset frequencies, where they come from. Maybe somebody can tell us. But anyway, by pushing that button, depending on what switch setting you're in, SW1, 2, or 3, it will quick jump to those various ones, and then you fine tune it with the big knob. Now, this only has one knob. It doesn't have concentric knobs like the 350. But what it does have is 3 buttons here. The first one is stop, it says, which turns off tuning, so you won't, if you got something tuned in, you won't lose it by accidentally hitting this knob. The next one is for tuning slowly. I think it's in 1 kilohertz increments, and then the next one is fast for tuning in 5 kilohertz frequencies. That's those buttons. Then you also have for tuning, you can use up and down button to tune. Again, this is a digital tuner, so you don't have to use the manual knob if you don't want to. It has 2 timers, an A and B timer, so that you can set up for it to come on at a certain time of day. And it has an alarm function, which is this button here. This button over here is the lock button, so it locks the whole radio so that you don't bump anything. And then, of course, this big red one is the power on and off. It's also used to turn on the sleep function. Then at the top, probably can't see it too well, but there's one big button, which is the snooze for the alarm, and then another smaller button, which is the light, the backlight, which can be turned on either temporarily by just tapping that button or permanently by holding it down for like 3 seconds, I believe. Okay, on the side here, we have three switches. One is a antenna DX in local switch, similar to the other radio. Also a switch to use the internal or external antennas, and a keypad light on and off. So if you turn that, and it won't show up very good in the light here, but if you turn that on, these little keypads here, or the keys, light up. They have a little light on them. Doesn't show up very well in the darkness, in the light, but it does help when you have a completely dark room. So you can turn that off and on. Like the other radio, when you tune the radio, the backlight display comes on. Just turn it on.
On the cross legally.
It'll come off.
Free
So it went off. It stays on for about 5 or 6 seconds when you first turn on, or if you tune it, it comes on. Or you can push and hold this button down and it'll stay on. See if I miss. Oh, the antennas. You have a good, strong telescopic antenna, and you have 2 connections. This connection here is a coax connection for FM external antenna. This is your shortwave and medium wave connections for an antenna, for a long wire antenna. And this is very unique. This is an output directly off the IF circuitry, and you can use this with some software, for instance, to do some things with the data that's found on some of these bands. And I won't get into that, but that's a function that most radios don't have. A lot of times if you want that function, you have to go into the radio, add a wire, and bring it out. This radio has it built in. Like I said before, this is the battery area. It uses D-cell batteries. Right there. It's actually 6 D-cell batteries. And unlike its sister, it doesn't have the capability of using AA batteries. Okay, I think there's, and the only connection over here is for the AC adapter, which is what I have hooked up now. It does come with the AC adapter. and it has a carrying handle. Oh, as far as reception capability, which I can give you a little indication tonight because it is nighttime, is very good. That's 9.265 coming on loud. I don't even have the telescopic antenna extended. That's coming in loud and clear. Let's
We thank God for all those of you in the
the
visitor
antenna.
audience. I see some ones that had
This, as you can see, as you can see, the tuning is right on. I mean, it's right now I got it for fast tuning, and I don't see it on the camera or not, but it's at 7.655, and I turn the knob and it goes up 5 kilohertz. If I go to slow tuning, it goes up exactly 1. There's no overshoot, unlike the 350 where there's overshoot. This one is right on. I mean, it's dead on. It's a digital tuner. So let's go back to fast tuning. Go down the band here. There's 7.50. Not sure what that is. Coming in loud and clear though. I don't have my computer set up so I can figure out what's on right now. There's 7.490. Seven 7.370. As you can see, this locked right on. I mean, there's no searching back and forth like I had to do on the 350. It just, boom, it's there. There. No problem. It has no problem receiving signals. It locks right into them. So reception is very good. Again, I'm just using the internal telescopic antenna. I'm not using external antenna. So that's pretty much it. Looks and feels much like, oh, one other thing is the tuning knob here. Now I mentioned it on the 350, the tuning knob was kind of wobbly. Well, this one is not wobbly at all. As a matter of fact, it may be a little stiff, but it's smooth. You can't spin it though, like some older radios. One of the things you could do is you could spin the knob. Well, this is very, I'll call it tight and very precise. It doesn't move at all. The other thing is the light, the backlight on this radio is much brighter than the 350. Now, you probably wouldn't notice the 350 being lighter if you were using it in a dark room where you need the backlight. But using it under these lights, I noticed it's not near as bright as this one is. One other thing I forgot to mention is the outputs. Over here it has a line out, which is a stereo line out, so that you can hook it to your stereo system or to some stereo speakers, because you're only going to hear with a single speaker mono. There's a line in if you want to put your iPod into this and listen to that single speaker, but with much more bassy, and then an earphone jack. So that's the jacks you have over there. The price difference right now, I checked today, the price difference is right now on Amazon, this is $99. This radio, for some reason, I don't know why, I got it at like $55 on a sale, special sale on Amazon. Then it went up to its normal price of $65, and it's been that way for a while. Well, today when I checked, it was $75. I'm speaking of the 350. It was $75 today. So now these are a lot closer together in price, where this one only be $100, so it's only $25 difference, and this is all digital. Now, granted, it's bigger. Granted, it doesn't have the capabilities of using AA batteries like the 350. But to me, right today, with the prices they are, I would go with the 450. So that's the show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I gave you some useful information. I'm trying to keep these videos down to less than 20 minutes. So I kind of quickly go over some of these things. If you have any questions or something I missed, please put it in a comment or send me an email. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye.